So what I'm going to be talking about today is marriage and all the limitations and structures in the whole development of that nature and how they look at it. So first of all, marriage, once you want a divorce, say people do get divorces, then that money gets in the way and really ruins the relationship, person to person, rather even not even being mutual friends after. It completely causes that separation, and it's like an evil little trick. It's just like, okay, this might not be the one, and if you don't have that determination from it, you know what I mean? Or either that if you do part ways, you shouldn't have to pay anything. You know what I mean? There should be certain things where it's only natural in nature for our souls. What our soul's not capable of being with somebody and staying with them without the government's help. Really look at it. Really look at what's going on. Living souls on the planet, but what? We got taught something of what that was way off of what the natural function of itself is. And that takes care of it way better because they have that common horse sense within the acknowledgement of what they are to begin with. Through generations upon what they have taught because of it worked. And it's not just because of what we're talking that's working. We're actually making things not work. But we're not seeing the cause and effect until it gets a mass scale of itself. Then we start paying attention more. Because we like to wait till the last minute for things. I'd rather make everything happen now. And the thing is that your perceptions of, say, things as your circumstances. Say you had more than one kid, and then say, there was one thing, but that doesn't mean that we could still be friends or anything else, in the matter. I just don't like people being completely out of my life, like they don't like me anymore. And I don't feel like I've ever done that, ever intentionally or anything, to do anything of the sort. And I get attacked, and I'm trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. But when they provoke the fucking, truth in me and stuff, when I'm talking to my dad, you know what I mean? There's sometimes that he flips out over nothing, the littlest thing, and and I just don't have time for it. I really gotta when I get to Kentucky, I'll be free. I'll be free of this. I won't have this in my reality. I'll be me fully, and I could just live in peace. You know what I mean? Away from people that don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't even be who I am. So that, in a way, that's a prison, right? In a way, in a structure of things, you're surrounded by rule systems and little coordinates of whatever. Think about it like that. Think about the government taught your parents to be who they are of their morals and circumstances. And it's quite insane, and we don't put love first here, because obviously all this would change. The government has the power to do so, but they'll say they'll do it and they'll never do it. You know why? They're fucking lying to you, So, and the thing is if you really look at it, if you look at how I'm going about things, I have more rule structure than the government does. I have more standards than the government does. The government does it cheap, maliciously, and they use these bills and all these fancy signing things just to make it happen. But it's like, can you really see what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? I could have fancy bills, make up, co-create all this shit, make it look super fancy, and control everything at the same time, which I would never do. I'd let everybody have free will of what they do. I would just want to set it right to have this fix of this issue. Set it right, then when you have free will to do that, they'll be living not a needy life. They'll be living a free, joyous life with all the fucking 8 billion people on the planet that are segregated from each other, not even communicating like every other animal on the planet. And until they can get this through their thick damn skull, that we need to come together and do this, or because there's too much fear yet. There is too much fear in everybody, you know what I mean? To actually truly come together and stay together. To develop something of our nature. Again, if we can't do that, God will just shake her head at us. You know why? Because we're still thinking in the old structure of things, believe it or not. We're surrounded by it every day. We can't escape from half of the world when the world's all around us, mixed and tangled. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to get through to you, or get through to that aspect of it. Sometimes I get like that because I know the pressure's on. Like, I know sometimes the pressure is literally like souls and the mosquitoes and everything. And sometimes they fuck me up and screw, it's not just because, it's not just them, it's other entities, right? You know? Even if you're fifth dimensional or higher, whatever, they can still try to interfere with your surroundings, whatever's going on around. That's why, if everybody else is raised, they can't touch you. They fucking leave. You know? Because then we're top dogs of our own thing, they can't feed. What it is they have a feeding system. When all we get affected, we're not paying attention to the top game of what's really going on. Then that top game plays this game, your news, everything. You're buying into something that is corrupt to begin with. We had so many wars go on. We gotta realize what was a limitation upon our freedom. Why was it that way? How were people acting and getting off on old Western days or whatever? People had more of their animal nature back then. Nature even doesn't have the nature of what man had. Because, quite literally, they killed just for the fun of it or whatever. They were influenced by what? Other things that were doing something. But, them other things are not... There's good other things out there. And they're watching you. And the thing is, they can't do that all the time. If they did, everybody would think the World War III thing rather than the peace thing. So, and, if you can't even listen to me as a human on the planet telling you this information, I would rather have them speak, but guess what? They can't. And you know what? It just pissed me off, because you know how elusive they are? Every time I saw them? Bastards. You know what I mean? They're too much, they're too smarter than me. It's like I'm the, and I have to freaking get on their level to even have access. But I mean, there comes a day where, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to be seen. Because I'm praying, I'm doing things, I'm spiritually doing, it's all spiritual here. Their technology's half spiritual, you know that? Because they could actually realize the certain energies which we pick up, we put it on a system, right? And that system picks up that energy frequency of whatever the thought process is into the system. And then that system would just navigate wherever and whenever. The thing is that it's just built into the programming itself. It's just developed. Just like when we develop a phone or some type of new holographic technology. You know what I mean? And you can't do that. Why would they want to make the holographic thing a reality? Or the robot thing a reality? No, make fucking flying up and above and get the fuck out a reality. You know what? No, not necessarily. But, these things are taking course. So this is like a thing where it is like up in the air. We always know Earth was like a 50-50 until it gets down to the nitty-gritty of like, what about 20 years in the future? Population. Just think about the math, though. So what I'm trying to say is that your perceptions, if you really love somebody and the system and rule systems are getting in the way and thinking that it's a bad thing and that's why you don't love them, that is really the block that's in this reality that everybody is facing on some levels or degrees. And not all the people are catching on as fast, say, as the mass, the reality of the actual planet. So then, you to be that way, you'd have to even get together to feel that way of what you want to be fully in. That's why, 1,000 people, I'm saying, here or there, you don't even have, you could just meet up and